to make mistakes and being willing to learn from it. Because, like I said, for me, I was willing to be dumb or stupid. I never saw that risk until more recently, because for me, it was just like, I know this is what I want. And so the risk really was never even on my horizon. If I had a business idea, I would start it like that same night. Because for me, it was like, I want to do this. I want to figure it out. Books were kind of giving me an idea. My teachers weren't teaching me this. I don't know who to turn to. My experience was my teacher. That's how I learned how to be an entrepreneur, how I learned to start investing. That's when I started learning about money, because, the whole issue with the money stuff, this is something that we're never, ever even remotely taught about. And it's now becoming a real pressing issue.
You have to be willing to try, learn, risk failure. You are going to fail. I always try to get people to understand that failure is the most information-rich data stream that exists. It sucks, it hurts, it can be costly, but one, in triggering the parts of the brain that have to do with pain, you trigger the parts of the brain that have to do with memory and focus. So you're more likely to really look at that thing that you don't want to happen again to figure out why that happened,
right.
Memorize it, and then you're going to get better the next time. And to your point about having a chip on your shoulder and people telling you that you can't do something and thinking one day, your kid's going to ask to work for me, it probably as a primary driver over an extended period of time, like you said, it'd be a little caustic to the soul, but it's so powerful in terms of, so you've got light energy and dark energy, right?
Yeah.
Just to be like all Star Wars about it. And what I have found in my own life is that the hardest times, the light energy will only get me so far, and then I'll hit a brick wall and I'll want to stop. And it's only when I tap into the dark energy of like, I will not let this person be right about me. I am not going to back down because I know they're just waiting for me to fail, that it actually does give me another boost. Now, I try to split it, call it 80-20, where I'm spending 80% of my time in the light, the beautiful things I want to do, the people I want to help. But dude, let me tell you, 20% of the time, I'm thinking that the person that really wants to tap dance on my grave.
It gets you going, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I found the same way, because for me in the beginning, it was just figuring it out. I went from business idea to business idea to business idea, because for me, I was just trying to figure it out, hopping from one idea to the next. But then, you talk about the light energy. For me, it was really driving my passion and my mission and my purpose. And that became more of the light energy, because now, after a certain point, you're like, the money doesn't drive you. It just is what it is, right? It's just like, I'm fine. Like I'm not a very materialistic person. I don't really care, about brand names, designer names. The first time I made $1 million, I was driving a $500 car, right? It just doesn't matter. Sure, it provides some sort of benefit, more comfort, more value, but after a certain point, that money is not a driver. It's now, what is my purpose? And for me, that minority mindset, where Rich started making videos, I wasn't doing it to make money. I did this as a hobby because I got scammed in that sock company. I'm just talking about things that, I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger, like having to do with business, having to do with money. So I did it as a hobby. And people will say, you can't just do that as a hobby. I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I didn't invest any money into it. I was making videos off my phone. I bought like a $30 or maybe $35 tripod off of Amazon. And I was just making videos for fun. And like, my friend asked me, and I think I was around 10,000 subscribers. And he asked me, he's like, how much money are you making off of YouTube? Like, what do you mean? He's like, how much money are you making from your ad revenue off of YouTube? I was like, I don't know. What do you mean? He goes into my YouTube backend with me. And this is before YouTube had requirements of like, you got to have X number of videos, X number of subscribers every time. Anybody could monetize any video. He's like, dude, you haven't even turned monetization on. Click one click and now you can start making money off your videos. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I really enjoyed it. For me, this was like really fun and something that I loved doing, which is why I did it. And then Minority Mindset started to grow, started to make some money. And I was like, oh, I can actually like do this. Like I can work on just spreading this purpose.
Well, what is it about what you guys publish that people respond to?
It's one email, right? It's a newsletter. And you know when it's coming, what time it's coming. You know where it's going to be every day. And so people want to open